Okay, let's talk about that moment. We've all been there. The deadline's getting closer, you've got your topic, but the essay itself, yeah, it's just that blinking cursor on a totally blank page. We're gonna fix that. Today, we're gonna turn that whole scary task into a really clear, super manageable process.
I mean, if that picture looks familiar, you are definitely not alone. Writer's block is so frustrating, it's stressful, but here's the good news. It is not unbeatable, not even close. In fact, there is a secret weapon against it, a tool that helps you organize your thoughts and actually build your argument before you even think about writing that first sentence.
And yeah, we're talking about the outline. But listen, forget whatever boring, tedious chore you might be picturing from high school. A good outline is your strategic map. It's a thinking document where you get to plan your entire attack. This is what guarantees that your final draft is focused, logical, and just plain powerful.
So, where do we start? Well, surprisingly, it's not with your own ideas. The very first step is to become an expert on the argument you're supposed to be responding to. You have to deconstruct the source material first. And we do that with a process called reverse engineering. You're basically taking a finished piece of writing and taking it apart, like a mechanic with an engine, breaking it down to its studs to see how it was built. You're looking for its core structure, its main claims, and of course, its central thesis.
And you know what? The process itself is way simpler than it sounds. It all starts with just reading and rereading. You want to know the source inside and out. Then you start to map its flow to see how the author connects their ideas from point A to point B. And finally, you isolate the key claims. These are the main pillars holding the whole argument up.
So, for instance, let's say you've been analyzing an article by Megan Garber. After you do your reverse engineering, you might nail down her central claim like this. She's worried that all our digital media is threatening our critical thinking, our empathy, and even our civic engagement. See? It's a clear, simple summary of her entire point. Okay, so once you have a rock-solid, deep understanding of their argument, now it's your turn. It's time to build your own. It's time to forge your thesis. And this is absolutely crucial. A strong thesis isn't some random opinion that just drops out of the sky. It has to be a direct response. It's all about entering into a conversation with the source material, positioning your argument directly against theirs.
Now, you've got two main paths you can take here. You can agree or disagree head-on, saying something like, Garber rightly argues that. Or you can take a more nuanced route. You can concede some points and then challenge others. That sounds more like, Garber has some fair points, but she really overstates her case. Honestly, that second path often shows a much deeper level of critical thinking.
All right. With that thesis as your North Star, you are ready to build the body of your essay. This is where you really make your case, point by compelling point.
I want you to think of each body paragraph as a mini conversation, right? It's a focused little debate where you take one specific point from the source and you engage with it directly using your own evidence and your own analysis.
And here's the basic anatomy of that conversation. It's a simple formula. First, you state what the source says, their specific claim. Then, you bring in what you say, your response. And finally, and this is key, you back it up with your proof, a specific, concrete example from your own knowledge, maybe a movie you saw or a news story you followed.
Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, artificial intelligence. It's an unbelievably powerful tool for sure, but using it the smart way is absolutely critical.
So the big question on everyone's mind is, can you actually use AI for help with this stuff? And the answer is yes. But, and this is a big but, there are some very, very important rules.
This right here is the most important distinction you need to make. You want AI to be your tutor, not your ghostwriter. The smart way is to ask it to challenge you. Ask me questions to deepen my thinking. The wrong way is to ask it to do the thinking for you, like write a topic sentence for me. See the difference? One builds your skills, the other just outsources the actual work.
So if you're going to use an AI copilot, you have to stay in the driver's seat, always. Give it the context, the assignment, the source text. Assign it a role, tell it to be your tutor or your thought partner. And you have to set clear ground rules. Command it to never write for you. And if it starts to drift and offer you a sentence, you push back, you redirect it. You are always, always in control.
So, you've built this amazing argument. You've laid out all your points. Now what? How do you end it with some real punch? Let's talk about crafting a powerful conclusion.
First things first, let's bust a common myth. A conclusion's job is not just to be a boring summary of everything you just said. No way!
Its real job, its most important job, is to give your readers something to chew on, something to think about long after they've finished reading. It is your final, lasting impression.
You know, I love this metaphor from the source material. Think of your introduction and your conclusion as bookends. They need to fit together perfectly, they need to match, creating this really satisfying sense of closure, kind of like finishing a great book.
So let's just quickly run through the big takeaways. First, your outline is your map. It's your best friend. Second, always start by deeply understanding the source's argument. Then, build your own argument as a conversation with that source. Remember to use AI as a smart tool, a tutor, never a ghostwriter. And finally, end with real power, not just a plain old summary.
So there you have it. You've got the blueprint. You have the map to building a powerful, truly unbeatable essay. The only question left is, what argument are you going to build?